Okay, hey, this is Mega here. So I'm shooting a video on how to repair a flat on your Sur Ron Light Bee, okay? More specifically, a tire puncture, okay? And this should be the same for pretty much any motorcycle that has like a tube type tire, but it depends, it varies on the bike. So today I will be doing it on my Sur Ron Light Bee MX, and it has the Supermoto wheels on it, and I got a freaking a nail or a screw in the tire, something. Okay. Um, I do DoorDash a lot on this bike, and I ride in the bike lanes a lot, and there's just screws and nails, all the crap that doesn't go on the road, it goes in the bike lanes. So I'm constantly getting flats on this. I think this is the third puncture I've had on this specific tire. So this tire's got like freaking holes all over it. Okay. So if you don't know, Sur Ron Light Bee has tube type tires. The reason it has to have a tube in it, because if it didn't have a tube in it, we could plug it and it would be a lot easier. But the tire has spokes. I mean, the wheel has spokes on it. So the spokes, you can't. It leaks air. It'll leak air if you try to fill it with air. So that's why you have to have a tube that holds the air in. So because it has the spokes, the wheel won't hold air like a cast rim, okay? So or like a mag rim or whatever, or like a car tire. Car tires don't have what you call it, tubes, okay? So that's what I got right here in my hand, a tube. So I highly suggest if you, for your Sur Ron in general, have a spare tube handy, okay? Like at home or whatever, or if you're on the trail, it's a good idea to take a tube with you because it's a lot faster to just swap the tubes out than to worry about patching tubes on the trail. Okay, but today we'll be patching this tube. Hopefully we can patch it. Depending on how bad the puncture is and like what happened to the tube, you may need to just replace it. Okay, so thus far I've had pretty good luck with this tube. I haven't torn it yet. So usually what happens if you ride it for a while, it'll tear a bigger hole in the tube, okay? If you don't catch it fast enough. So luckily I got this flat like right down the street from here. So I rode it home like a mile, and then hopefully that didn't damage it enough, okay? You can still see the top of the bolt head right here. So let's go take a look at the puncture real quick, okay? And then I'll show you how to repair this. Okay, I've done it a couple times, so I figured I didn't do a video about it. So I will do a video on exactly how to change or how to repair a flat on your Light Bee. Okay, I'll kind of go over what the stuff you'll need. But basically, you're going to need a patch kit. You're going to need tire irons. You're going to need you may need a tube. So this is a Supermoto wheel. It uses 17-inch tubes, so you're probably going to want the skinniest tube you're going to get. This is a 7117 TR6 tube, okay, is what it is. It's a heavy-duty one, so I bought it just in case, okay? A good thing to do is, get rid of these Supermoto. If you have the Supermoto wheels, I highly suggest you don't keep the stock tires on there. Chuck those and get some Michelin Pilot street tires, okay? They're much better and much safer, in my opinion. So when you're doing that, you should probably put heavier duty tube in anyways, okay? I highly suggest you replace the stock tubes with heavy duty tubes. Keep the stock tubes because they're light duty tubes, and by light I mean light, like they don't take up a lot of space. They're not heavy at all, and they're easy to carry in a backpack. So if you needed to carry something, so just in case you got flat and you want to swap it out right away, and it's easier to install on a trail, I would use the stock tubes because the stock tubes are great for that. They're really lightweight. They don't heavy duty tubes. They're heavier. They take up more space. They're harder to install. So that's why I wouldn't recommend keeping it as a spare. Okay, but if for like a main tube, then I would put a heavy duty one because there's less chance of it, getting like a pinch flat or something. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over some of the tools real quick, and then we'll get on it. All right, here we go. Okay, so these are going to be some of the stuff you're going to need to repair this flat. Also, let's take a look at the puncture before we start. Okay, so this is what I got right here. So that's a pretty good one right there. I don't even know what that is, so we'll find out when we pull it out. But it's pretty much smack dab right in the center. Okay, you can tell I haven't ridden it with it like that for a while, for too long, because the bolt head is still intact. But I don't have the. I think it's a screw. It might be a screw. We might be able to unscrew that. But yeah, I caught a good one right there, right smack dab in the center. Okay. I'll tell you now. With this tire I have on this bike, I've ridden it like 5 or 6 miles with the flat tire before, and I never tore the tube, and it never damaged the rim or the tire. You just have to ride it very carefully. Okay. So you can run this thing flat. I've done it before, so just be careful. Be very careful. I've never unseated it from the rim or anything. So that's an interesting thing to know about this wheel and tire combo. Okay, you can ride it flat. So I've done it like twice now. So I tried pushing it home one time when I got a flat, and like I found out that you could just ride it home if you ride it very carefully. So do your best to, if you get one in the rear, do your best to put all your weight on the front of the bike. Okay, so it doesn't like if the bead breaks or pops, then it's going to be kind of dangerous to ride. So that's all I'm going to say. That's why I take it really easy. If you take a corner too fast, it may unseat, and then yeah, it'll come off the rim and stuff. So it won't be all bad. Okay, and I did it at speeds of like 20 miles an hour, so in the bike lane. So it's pretty not too bad. Okay, so this is some of the tools that you're gonna need to do this. So first off, you're gonna need a patch kit. Okay, if you're gonna repair the tube. If you're just gonna replace it with a new tube, then you probably won't need one. Okay, so in a patch kit, I will show you exactly how to patch it, but you'll have patches. You'll have different size patches. So this is like the medium size one. There's a large one right there. There's some like oval ones and stuff, different kinds. And then you'll have a little sanding tool here. Okay, and that's what you need to use to rough up the rubber, so you get some fresh rubber in there. Okay, so you got the patch, the little sander tool, and then you'll have a tube of rubber cement. Okay, so I'm not going to use a tube. I have a big can here that I use. Okay, this in my opinion, the tube is only for emergencies. Okay, so once you open this and then you try to open it and you try to use it again later, it'll be all dried up. So this is only like for emergencies. Okay, if you use this once, you're probably gonna have to chuck it and get a new one. Okay, because these come sealed. Okay, see, they're sealed. So you have to puncture. You have to puncture it to get the goods out. Okay, so there's a little puncture thing on the top. Okay, it's just like, it's exactly like patching a bicycle tube. Okay, so if you've done a bicycle tube, then you've done it. Okay, and then you're gonna need some kind of valve core remover tool. So here's an example of one that's on a valve stem cap. Okay, I have a kind of a nice one. It's a Motion Pro. So this one's a heavy duty one. I highly suggest you use a metal one. Don't use the plastic ones, because the plastic ones break. Okay. Okay, so that's the patch kit. Patches, a sanding tool, and a rubber cement. And then you're gonna need the valve core remover tool. Okay. Okay, so let's take that out. This is tire plug stuff. That's not gonna. We're not gonna use that. This is for tubes. Okay. And then you're gonna. It helps to have a valve fishing tool. You don't really need one, but it helps to get the valve stem into the wheel. Okay. And then it helps to have a torque wrench. Okay. This one is already set to 42 foot-pounds because it's broken. and then you're gonna need some kind of 17-inch socket to get the wheel off. Okay. And then yeah, so I'm going to use this in conjunction with my torque adapter, and then you're going to need tire irons. Okay, so these are motorcycle tire irons. They're very large. If you're if you have pretty good technique, you really don't need big ones. But hey, this is my garage, and I have a nice set of tire irons, so we're gonna use it. Okay, I do have smaller ones. My tire iron collection is over there, by the way, if you guys want to see it. I do have smaller ones. Smaller ones are great for when you're on the trail, okay? That's about it. But I got these big, nice ones. I do have a Bead Pro also. Motion Pro Bead Pro tool. This helps pop the beads if you're having trouble popping the bead. I don't know if you're gonna have trouble doing that, but I will use it. Okay, I'll show you how it works. I do actually have a bead popping, a motorcycle bead popping machine type thing. It's got a lever and you press down on it, and if these can't get it off, I use that one. But I'm pretty sure this one won't give us much trouble. Okay, so you should have at least 3 tire irons. Okay, generally I would say have 2 of the bigger ones and then have 1 small one. Okay, it helps a lot if you have 3. You could use 2, but like I said, it's easier if you have 3. And then I have a tire changing stand here. You don't really need a tire changing stand, but it makes it easier, and you don't have to bend over and be working on your knees. So it's nice to have, And I highly suggest, if you got space for one, go buy one. This one was $75 at Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Okay. Every time I use it to install a tire, I put a tick mark on it to show me how many times I've done it. So just to show you, just to show that I got my money's worth out of this machine. And it looks like I've installed 1, 2, 3, 7. I've installed 17 tires with this tire changing stand. Okay, so you figure you pay a dude $20 to install your tires. 20 times 17. Do the math. Okay, it's definitely paid itself off. All right, so it helps to have that, and then you're going to need some kind of jack to get your wheel off. Okay, you could, if in a pinch, you could just lay the bike down on its side and then and work on the bike like that. But I'm gonna use my tire my motorcycle jack here. Okay. All right, so yeah, those are most of the tools. If anything, oh yeah, also I have this Nomar tire changing paste. Okay. It's a tire mount lubricant. I will be using this. Normally, I would use like a Windex or a window cleaner. That's what I normally use as a lubricant to put the tire back on. But I'm trying. I just bought this and I'm trying it out. So this is kind of like a dual kind of purpose video. I'm going to make a different clip out of this too, because I'm still experimenting with this stuff. Okay, I just installed that tire over there with it. So that's what I'm saying. So we're gonna try it out on the Sur Ron wheel just now. Okay, all right, so let's get started. The first thing you got to do is you got to get the wheel off the bike. So I'm going to get this bike out of the garage because there's like no space to work in here right now, and then we'll go take the wheel off. All right, here's we go. I also want to note, when the tire is flat, the bike doesn't want to stay up on the side stand because it's lower in the back now. So you got to be careful. It might fall over. All right, here's we go. Okay, let's get this wheel off, all right? Okay, so let's go take the wheel off. So you're gonna need your 17mm socket. I got my impact gun here to make it a little easier for me. Take the axle out. Okay, the axle out. So take the wheel out. So I'm just gonna demonstrate for the back. Okay, the front is even easier to do. So, but what you're gonna have to do is take this adjustment block out here, okay? Mine has a Supermoto slider, yours won't have that. It's not big. Come Or you can just push the axle out and then it'll just fall out, okay? Wow, how stubborn. So you need to take the adjustment block out so you can remove the chain, because the chain has to come out. Okay? So there's the adjustment block. Take the Supermoto slider out. Okay, and then you can push it back now and then work the chain off, okay? Okay, and I would just put the chain on the swing arm here. Just let it hang off the swing arm. Okay, now you can take the axle out. Pull the axle and the other adjuster out, the adjustment block out with it. See, he's making it struggling here. Struggling. Okay. Wow. This is not cooperating. Okay. Okay, axle comes out. So you gotta remove the disc brake caliper, so you're gonna have to move it back enough where it comes out of the little groove inside. Okay, so you're gonna have to take the brake caliper assembly out, and you can do that by pushing the whole assembly full back. Push the whole thing back. It should come out. So pull the whole thing back until this notch comes out of the little peg there, okay? And then you're gonna have to pull the bracket out a little bit from the spacing, okay? That should come out, okay? Because there's a little cup that holds it in, okay? All right, wheels out. Okay, so one thing you want to do is take these spacers out. There's spacers on each side, so I put the left one on the left side of the bike and the right one on the right side of the bike, so I don't forget. It's a good idea to take them out so you don't lose them, okay? Okay, so next thing to do is go and we'll remove the puncture after this, okay? So go ahead and remove your valve cap, okay? And then remove the nut holding your valve stem, okay? Mine is just hand tight, so it's not hard to get out. It doesn't really need to be that tight, man. If it's a street tire, it's okay to tighten it, but I tighten it by hand. So it's perfectly fine to have it loose because you want to make sure the valve stem stays in there straight. Okay. It's a little dirt biking trick. Okay, so there's the nut, and then there's the valve cap. Okay, and then you're going to need your valve core remover tool to remove the valve core. Go ahead and remove that. Okay. Set that aside. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove our puncture. I'm going to turn this the other way here. There it is. So it's definitely handy to have a pair of pliers. Okay, if you have if it's like a Phillip head screw or a flathead, then a flathead screwdriver will work. Yeah, provided the head is still on there. So what I'm gonna do is, I think this is a screw. I'm gonna unscrew it. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. I got that good. You can try to take it out by hand, but it might be tough. So. Okay, let's keep on going. Eventually you'll get it all the way out. Okay, there it is. I don't even know how this gets in here. Look at how long that is, man. How does that even get in there, man? Hopefully, it looks like it went in there pretty cleanly though, so I don't think it damaged the thing at all. Look at how sharp it is. Jeez. Crikeys. I don't know what kind of screw. It's like a wood screw or something. I'm gonna put this in my collection of punctures. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do is just remember where the flat is, where the hole is, the puncture. I know it's by the valve stem, so that's a pretty good indicator where it is. So I would use the valve stem and then figure out where in relation to the valve stem is your puncture. That way you won't have trouble finding it when you take the tube out. Okay. So yeah, so it is pretty much right next to the valve stem, so I don't think we're gonna have trouble finding it. Okay. Okay, so the next thing to do is we got to take the tube out. So now's the fun part, all right? So now the first thing you got to do is you got to break the bead. If you're just going to take the tube out, you only have to take one side out. You don't have to take both sides out. So I'm going to use my Motion Pro Bead Pros to break the bead. If you got a rim lock, it's going to be a little harder. So I'm not going to, this one doesn't have a rim lock, so I'm not going to show you how to work with the rim lock. Okay, just put the raptor claw in there like that, squeeze, push down on it, and it should break the bead, okay? Okay, went off pretty easily. Chances are if you just press straight down on the wheel, or you just step on it with your foot, it would break the bead already, okay? Next thing to do is to just spoon it off. Spoon the tire off, so here we go. Okay, so make sure when you're trying to unspoon it that the bead isn't seated, okay? If it doesn't stay in the drop center, it's gonna fight you, okay? So, okay, try your best not to scratch your wheel. I'm trying my best not to scratch my wheel. I just put it under the okay. This is where the third tire iron comes in handy. At some point, it'll be really easy. You might be able to just don't it. These tires are pretty soft too, so they're not too hard to work with. Okay, when you got most of it out, I got these rim stickers on it too, so I'm scratching the rim stickers. Okay. Okay, so once you've got one part of the bead off, you can start removing the tube. Just kind of peel it back. Just kind of peel it back and push the valve stem out, or you just pull it out anywhere you can. But I'm going to start at the valve stem. He's having trouble. So hard to get it out. wheel is so, the tire is so small, it's hard to get out of here. Oh, whew. Okay. Let's pull it out. Yeah, this isn't very tight. I don't remember it being this hard last time. I did this not too long ago. Hopefully I didn't scratch the wheel up too bad. So there's a tube. It's an IRC heavy duty 2.5 to 2.75 millimeter tube. Okay, so remember the puncture was where the valve stem was. Okay, so it's right here. So it looks like it's not bad. It tore it a little bit, but not too bad. Definitely a small patch will do the trick. Okay. Okay, so if you remember, our puncture was by the valve stem, and there it is. It's right here. Okay, so what we got to do now is we got to is it called vulcanizing, or you need to sand off a layer of rubber, and if it's near one of these kind of seams here, you're gonna have to sand off that whole seam. Okay, so Hazemaker's gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna use a Dremel to do it. Okay, I'm gonna use a Dremel to clean it up. Okay, and your hands will get very dirty. Okay, if you're going to do it this way, I would wear safety glasses, okay? Alright, so here we go. Okay, I probably need to do a little bit more. What you're going to want to do is get the patch that you need. So we're probably just going to use the smallest one we can find here. Don't need anything really big. Okay, so we're going to use this teeny tiny little guy right here, okay? And just basically hold it over there so you can get an idea how much you need to sand. Okay, so we need to go a little bit more. Yeah, we need to go a little bit more on that. Just got to make sure there's fresh rubber, that's all. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so I'll give you an example of what it's like to use the. It takes much longer, but this is the tool. This is the tool to scrape the rubber. Okay, and you would just rough it up with this. Okay. Okay, just like that. Okay, so what you're going to want to do first, pull off some of this. So what you're going to want to do next is get your rubber cement here. Okay. If you're using the one from the tube, just go use the one from the tube, but I'm going to use this one, okay? Okay. What you're going to want to do is some rubber cement where the puncture is. Oh my god, so much dripping on the floor. What the hell, dude? Just make sure you get all the areas where, you know. What a mess, dude. So what you're going to want to do is wait like a minute or two for it to kind of get tacky first. So if you guys don't know what rubber cement does, is it basically welds it melts the rubber. Okay, you're basically fusing two pieces of you're fusing the patch onto the rubber. Okay, so like it becomes one piece. That's what rubber cement does. Okay, just FYI. Okay, and then you're gonna go peel the patch off of the backing like that. Okay, and then stick it on to where the puncture is. Okay. Stick it right there. Okay. You're going to want to press on it pretty good. Okay. You can either leave the plastic backing on there, or you can take it. This plastic thing here. Just be careful when you rip it out, because it might take the patch with it. What you're going to want to do is kind of peel it off of there. When you get to a certain point, it's not going to peel it off of there. Okay, just like that. Okay. Okay. And you probably want to let it do its thing for about like 5 minutes. Make sure you press on it really good. Just hold it for like a minute, you know. Apply pressure to it. Okay. Okay. So there it is. That's my handiwork right there. Like I said, you probably want to wait a good 5 minutes before you put air in it. I'll show you some other patches I got on here. So here's one right here. Looks like it's all turned all black. You can barely make it out. That's a pretty good one. There's another one right here. Not so good. There's like a bubble forming in it. Okay, so that's not good. That means some of it, there's like an air pocket in there. Okay, where the puncture is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my valve fishing tool. Okay, we're gonna stick it in the hole here, and then we're gonna pull it out the side of the tire. Okay, the side of the tire that's open. I highly suggest you get one of these tools. It's totally worth it. It's very inexpensive. You just do your best. Do your best to get it out of there. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do is fish your tool in there. Okay. And then peel the tire back and try to grab it somehow. Might help if you got something to grab it in there with this. Oh, I got it. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. It's always difficult, but it makes it worth it because it makes it easy to install it. Okay, so now what you're going to have to do is go get your tube, install the valve fishing tool into where the valve core was. Okay. Then you're going to want to stuff the tube in there as best you can to line up the valve stem. Gizmek is making this look way harder than it is. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. It's not cooperating. Kind of just shove it in there and pull on the tool, and hopefully you pull the tool through the hole. Okay. At some point you'll see it poke out of there. You want to put a little bit more in here. Try to get it in there as straight as possible. Okay. Pull it out. Okay. Get it straight. Let's not try to straighten the tube out. Okay, and then while it's out there, take your fishing tool out and put the valve stem nut back in. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to go stuff the rest of the tube in here. This is also a heavy duty tube, by the way, so it's a little bit harder. The heavy duty. Yes, tubes are a pain to deal with, especially on this bike because the tire is so small. It's hard to work with. Okay. So the valve stems on there are freaking crooked. Okay, you're going to try to screw that in as much as you can by hand. Okay, and hopefully the tube straightens up. Okay. Next we're going to spoon the tire back on. Alright, and then for that part we're going to break into the Nilmar paste. Okay, alright, as we go. If you don't have a tire paste, you can use Windex, okay? That's what I normally use. But I'm trying this Nilmar tire stuff out, tire paste, and see how it works. Sure made that Chinko tire a lot easier to install. Okay, it's most of the tire right there. It's kind of okay. Gross. So now that we got our tire all gooped up, let's put this tire back on. Okay, so. There's no particularly, there's no real area we really need to start with because we don't have a rim lock, so just have at it. Just be careful not to pinch the tube. So what I like to do is start with two. Try not to scratch my rim too. A way you can prevent your rim from getting scratches is to peel the tire back a little bit and then stick the tire iron in. Don't let it slide in there. Okay. Just be careful not to pinch the tube. I don't see it in there, so. Okay, and then go take your third one. Okay. Then this one will come out. Maybe you can just press it. Let's try just pressing it on. Trying out this tire paste. Yeah, you could just you could just press the tire on with the tire lube. Oh my god. No way. No way. I don't even think I put enough. If I put more on there, it'll be even easier. So look at that. That's crazy, right? So you could literally just press the tire on there. It depends on the tire though. This Michelin Pilot Street is pretty soft. Okay. Ooh, okay. I think that's about as far as it'll let us do that, okay? Oh no, it's going. Okay. Okay, so if from what I remember with the other one, it's good to use 2 tire irons, okay? Use 2 tire irons to spoon it, so. Here we go. Let's get 2 of them ready. Make sure it's the right direction. Have at it. When one goes in, the other one should get easier. Okay? There we go. Make sure you're not pinching the tube. Make sure you don't see any tube creeping out there, okay? Wow. Okay. I wonder, okay, so when we're about here, you might be able to just slip the bead onto the rim, okay? So I'm just gonna torque down on the wheel. It helps if you have 3 hands. We may need to do one more. No, I think we got it. I see it. Oh, boom, there it is. It's kind of scary. I think I scratched the wheel doing that too. All right, there it is. Nice. So that tire lube definitely worked. Okay. Okay. So what you're gonna want to do now, before we put air in it, let's check. It's always a good thing to do to check between the tire and the rim to make sure the tube isn't sticking out between it isn't going to get pinched between the wheel and the tube. Okay, so just go in there, press down on the tire, and take a look at it. Okay. Okay, so the tire looks good to go. We're gonna go ahead and so what I'm gonna do is what I like to do is inflate it like 4 times. Okay. Inflate it 4 times. So the tube seats in there. Okay. I'll inflate it to like 50 psi or something. Okay, so once you're sure you got everything's all nicely seated, put your valve core back in. Okay. And then what I like to inflate the rear to is 28 psi. Okay, that's 40 psi. Okay, it's about 28 right there. And then that should be good. Hopefully your valve stem is pretty straight, and it is. I'm just going to hand tighten that, okay? And then we should be good to go. So you shouldn't have to rebalance it because you put the tire back where it was before, okay? So now all we got to do is reinstall the wheel. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and install my wheel. Wow, these are really soft tires. The grip's so good. Okay. You're going to want to put your spacers back in. Now, it's always tricky installing this caliper. So you're going to want to stick it in the cup. Put the spacer in the cup, but you're going to also want to have to put the rotor between the pads, okay? So that's in the pads, and then it's in the cup. Okay. And then you're going to want to slide it back on to that peg, okay? Get it back in there. Okay. You can try to get your chain back on. Push it all the way in, and then put the chain on. Okay. Go ahead and put the axle back in. Boy, installing it was a lot easier than taking it out. I had such a hard time taking it out. I don't know why. I've done it like a gazillion times. Okay, if you didn't mess with your chain adjustment settings, the chain slack, you shouldn't have to do anything. Okay. Put the nut back on. It might be a good time to check your chain tension, but you should probably check your chain tension when your thing is deployed. So. Then go ahead and torque your wheel. Okay, so I got my torque adapter right here. Okay. It'll beep when it gets to the torque. Okay. One more time. Okay. Should be good to go. All right, we're done. Okay, so the last thing to do is we'll put the valve stem cap back on. Okay. Boom, done. You might want to check your chain slack to see if it's right. No, it looks like it's fine to me. Okay, make sure it spins okay. Maybe you might want to turn it on and make sure it's not making any funny noises or anything. All right, looks good to me. All right, so that was how to patch. Or how to repair a flat tire on a Sur Ron Light Bee. More specifically, a Sur Ron Light Bee with a Supermoto wheel on it. Okay. Yeah. So that's how you would do it. And that's all the stuff that you got to have. The patch kit and some of the tools, some wrenches and stuff. Like you need a 12 to take the valve stem off if it's tight. Okay. So it's good to have a whole bunch of tools. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of stuff. If you get a flat tire like out there, it's gonna suck because it's gonna suck changing it out in the field. I don't carry flat repair tools with me when I ride this around the city. So if I get a flat, then that's it. I try to ride it home. Hopefully I'm not too far from home. The beauty of it is I ride it in the bike lane, so I don't ride it very fast, so I can ride it with a flat tire. That's one good thing I've learned about it. Because if you get a flat tire on a motorcycle, yeah, it's going to be kind of dangerous riding it back home. It's better to just plug it on the spot. Unfortunately, we can't use tire plugs for the Sur Ron Light Bee. They don't. I haven't seen any cast wheels for the Light Bee yet. So if you could get some cast wheels, it would be much heavier though. If you can get some cast wheels for the Light Bee, then you won't have to worry about putting a patch in it. So it's a real pain in the ass. Okay, if you're in a real big pinch, the green stuff, slime. Put slime in it, and then there's a good chance it might work. Okay, but you have to have the slime, and then you have to have the pump. Okay, and then another thing is I think if you use the slime, you may not be able to patch it. So the patch may not stick with the slime in there. Okay, you might be able to if you can. I know if you come back and you try to move as much of that slime out as possible, you might be able to put a patch in it. Okay, so, but what Haze Omega usually does, if I get a flat with the Supermoto wheels, and I'm riding in the city, I just ride it home. I ride straight home on the bike lane, at like about 20 miles an hour. I know it can do it. I know it can do it. So, just don't go ripping around on it, and it'll be okay. Okay, or else the tire will unseat on the wheel. But there we go. That's the third patch I've installed on this tire in the last like 2 months. So Haze Omega is just he's like a nail magnet. Okay, it's usually a screw. So okay, so I hope you guys learned something. That's how to repair a flat tire on your Sur Ron Light Bee, more specifically with the Supermoto setup for the rear. Okay. The front's the same thing. Just take the front out. The front's even easier to take out than the rear. And it's pretty much the same steps. I'd imagine the front might be even harder because it's skinnier than the rear. So the skinnier the tire is, the harder it is to get your fingers in there. that's the tough part. So when the tire is small like this, it's hard to get your fingers in there and like work stuff in there. Like there's really, if you got really big digits, it's gonna be tough. I got like average size fingers, so it's already tough for me. So okay, I hope that helped you guys out. If you don't know how to repair a flat, it's like a bicycle, but not really. Okay, I'll tell you that it's not as easy as a bicycle, for sure. If you have the dirt wheels on, it might be easier to install. I'm not sure. I can tell you this, with the trials tires, I could probably install it without. No, you would still need the tire spoons, but it would be much easier to take the tire off, because I remember those tires are really easy to uninstall. If the tire is warm, it's even easier to install because it's softer. And I used that tire paste, the No More tire paste, and it worked really good. I liked it. It just slips right in there. Okay. All right. Hope you learned something. Haze Omega out.